In good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. 'Cause that's what friends are for. I know y'all remember that. Wouldn't it be great to have such a close-knit friend? To be able to depend on the friends that you do have. And to have that friend that would stick by you no matter what. I think we all sort of like that. I mean, you know, we have it a little bit on the Friends show. But did you ever have a really great best friend while you were growing? And maybe you still do. I had best friends here and there all through, but I can't say that they've all stuck, you know. That one that you can call up and depend on, no matter what. I had my first really good friend, you know. I met in kindergarten, stayed about into first grade, and then it sort of went, I mean, then she was sort of a friend here and there. That was in Topeka Lutheran School, and then we lost touch, of course, and then later in the last year of high school, she was there too, but she wasn't in the same circle as I was. And there was, in Glendale, there was Bonnie Combs, who was, and does she ever see this video? Hey, girl. For about 3 years, my friend. She was a good friend. Great friend. And in my last year in high school, I hung out with a girl named Jill. And if she's watching, hey there. But, you know, you lose touch with people a little bit. But anyway, it all got me thinking about the back in the days, you know. And has anybody ever seen that poop? I'm sorry, just had to think of that for a minute. That pooping commercial, that new pooping. I'm a woman and I poop and I'm proud of it. I'm a pooping woman. Just had to throw that one out there. Would you ever do a commercial like that while you're sitting on the toilet pooping? I was thinking about that the other day. They'd have to pay me at least $5,000 or $10,000 to do that commercial. My guess is they'd probably pay about maybe $500 to $1,000 or something. There I go, freezing again. Anyway, and you know, you go to those parties and you're all posh and boop boop, and then they say, "Weren't you that pooping girl in that pooping commercial?" And it's sort of, so they would at least have to pay me some big bucks to do that. If you taken down a notch, I at least want some money, right? But it got me to thinking about a lot of different things, commercials and different things that back in the day. And here's just a few of many. I was looking at that and they had that Prel shampoo. I don't really know what the Prel thing is, because I don't think did I ever? We went through a lot of shampoos when I was growing up, but the one I remember the most was Pert, you know, where you get that bouncing, how do they say that? Bouncing and behaving hair. Uh-huh. Oh, also Irish Spring soap. And then the Pert thing later on got to, I think, Wash and Go. But I used to like how they did that bouncing. And all of a sudden their hair was like, you know. Let's not forget that, was that neat, that wear shorts. I'd always love that one too. They just don't have commercials today quite like they did back in the day, I think. Not that there aren't some good ones, like that guy in Panama City. Someday when I go to Panama City, I'm gonna have to try that. I think it's Nick's Pizzeria or something like that. I'll have to like really get that for sure. But he's like has almost 40 years of cooking. Like, he comes from originally from New York, like Brooklyn or Bronx, or I don't remember where he said he came from, but he, I think Brooklyn. That's where he said he came from. But of course, a lot of them moved here to Florida, right? And then he has that where he says, if you don't like my pizza, you can throw it in my face. So funny. So far, nobody has thrown it in his face. But he better be careful, because somebody might throw it in his face just because he said so. Just kidding. No. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. It's a family owned and run, him and his family, so. If you're ever there in Panama City, look up Nick's Brooklyn Pizzeria. I don't remember what he calls it. Yeah, that's hard to find. I know it has Nick in the name, so there you go. And then there was a couple of advertisements, like Orange Twist, Squirt Soda. I really wasn't into those kind of things. Cream soda. Now that I had a lot. And A&W root beer's got that frosty mug taste. Yeah, we remember those, right? And I'm not a pop drinker today, but a few times I do drink it, do drink pop. I would still prefer A&W root beer, and they still got cream soda, so those would, those are the ones I would like, so. And I don't eat cereal anymore, but when I do, the very rare times I do. Frosted Flakes, because they're great. I almost said they're magically delicious, but that would have been wrong, because that's Lucky Charms. That's good too, but I like Frosted Flakes. And oh, Twice as Nice. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that shampoo. And gee, your hair smells terrific. That I have heard of that. And gee, your hair smells terrific. And Head and Shoulders. We used to do that when I was growing up. I think my dad did mostly. I was more for Pert. But we do Head and Shoulders and Suave today. So. And then of course, thinking about those things led me to thinking about other things, like the White Lakes Mall and all the little things in that mall. And one of the things in there that I remember is the Patch On store, the iron-on. Pick out your iron, get a shirt. I think they had it where you can buy a shirt. And then they would iron it on. I used to love doing that. All kinds of iron-on shirts, of course. Of course, after a few washes, they don't last forever, but, they can last a while, especially if you turn it inside out. But I also remember in that store, and I have them here. I don't have all of the collection because we moved a lot when I was growing up, and things got lost and then one time stolen, so. But they used to have a pewter store, and my sister and I used to like to buy the little pewter dogs and stuff, and cats. We had some cats too. I think it's a Lakeland Terrier or an Airedale, I'm not sure. And the Australian Kelpie. I had an Australian cattle dog. She lived a long time, to about 13. Schnauzer, I think. And when I mean I actually had an Australian cattle dog, not in the pewter. Lasso Apso. Cocker Spaniel Puppy. I don't know if anybody's able to see what I'm doing. I think that's a Schnauzer too. Either that or it's the Scottish Terrier. I used to be into Scottish Terriers too, and I have some in my collection. Scottish Terrier. Another Scottish Terrier. Irish Setter. And a pointer. I think that's what that is. And here's one of the cats I have, but this was not from the mall. This was from Bowman's. They said Bowman's. I think I got this when I was like in the 3rd grade. And this, I don't remember where I got it, but I got it when I was like 2nd or 3rd grade. And this, my great-grandmother gave us. Made in England. You don't see that anymore. Yeah, it's like show and tell. Really. You know, I asked my sons that, but they don't really have show and tell here anymore. They took show and tell away, you know. So what up with that? Why'd you take show and tell away? But here's a little bit of my show and tell. And now I will say have a wonderful Tuesday. And hey, A&W root beer's got a frosty mug taste. And lean on me, and yeah, all of those good things back in the 70s and 80s. Anyway, have a wonderful good Tuesday, and over now.